Or three, two, one.
Got it.
Oh,
wow.
but you know what? I
Tonight.
don't have on.
You know,
Wait.
Ben didn't do his the proper camera. Wait, come on, roll with it.
What?
No, fucking.
Yeah, we're doing it. What are you talking about? We're all good. Everybody's having fun.
I'll
Tonight. We're doing, what was I gonna, oh, this is London. Somebody's died in every room, in every building, and on every street corner.
That's fair.
That's right.
I feel like
we're
that's a fair
doing
statement.
2022's Last Night in Soho.
Jack the Ripper, right?
2021. It's Last Night in Soho, covered in film.
Prove
like
it.
and subscribe.
Prove it. What evidence do you have to support that fact?
I know that it's 2020.
The internet.
All right, I'm your host
piece
tonight.
of paper says 2022's. Whatever.
No.
The latest offering from Edgar Wright. Where does Edgar Wright fall in your guys' list of favorite directors? Let's say favorite modern directors. Let's put it up. Alejandro Inarritu, Wes Anderson.
He'd be up there for you. He makes a lot of movies that you like.
Yeah, he's made a lot of movies that I really enjoy. Either you guys see Baby Driver?
That's fair. Yes, that's actually a really good movie. I like that one.
Yeah, not bad. I thought John Hamm was really great in that.
I mean, did you guys like Ant-Man?
Oh, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, so it's not his first time on the show.
No. Nope. Also Hot Fuzz, one of my favorites all time.
Yeah,
and I have spared you guys from Shaun of the Dead, but eventually, yeah,
it
should be said.
The only reason I've watched that movie is because of my friendship with Ben, and it wasn't horrible.
Well,
I didn't want to.
I'm glad I have contributed something.
Well, you guys are BFFs. Let's derail this for a minute. Which one of you is the zombie living in the backyard, and which one survives?
I'm definitely the zombie in the backyard. Do you know how much drinking I do? Come on. My zombie body could feed on my toxic liver for at least a year.
You're already the zombie in the backyard. Just one too many rums.
Yeah.
You guys see Avatar 2? Come on.
Come on. Everybody.
Hey, by the way, if you made it this far, like and subscribe. We're really cool and entertaining.
That's right. We've only barely just begun. Let's get a fresh perspective. Russ,
wait, Ben,
what did you think of this movie? Give it a rating and a grading.
Before I do that, you switched your camera, so look at the right camera.
Hey, don't tell me how to live my life.
He's hosting this show.
I do what
15
I want.
minutes of prep. Come on, man. You got to look at the notes.
All right, so I'm the one who talks the
week,
most during the rate and grade, so I'm gonna do that. When you picked this movie and I looked it up and I read the description, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then
yeah. That's right. Take that shit.
I started watching it and I still felt that way.
Krampus, bitch. Krampus up in your ass. Or how about
But
I'm just looking through my pages and pages of notes of movies where I went, why did Russ make me watch this?
Oh, Event Horizon.
Dude,
tops of the
I've
list.
picked all of our best movies. All of them. Anyways. But I knew it deep in my heart. I knew this was going to be like a Pan's Labyrinth or something, and that it was going to, that like Ben's not an idiot. He probably picked a good movie. I was holding out for it. And right when she travels back in time the first time and it starts playing music and you start seeing the trippy mirrors, I was like, this movie is badass. And the music is phenomenal. It's from start to finish and it doesn't let up. And the movie itself I was so pleasantly surprised. Even it exceeded my expectations of just like being subtly surprised. It was great. I would give it a solid A. I think everyone should watch this. Sonia walked in halfway through it. Here's a Sonia minute. And
yeah, I was hoping she would watch the whole thing.
no, she came home late and I had already started watching it. And I was like, honey, this is a horror movie. And she was like, I don't want to watch it. She just like gets ready to go. And I was like, I think you'd really like it. It is really good and it's not actually that scary. And she ended up watching it. And by the end, she said, this is a really good movie.
Yeah. Edgar Wright, he's a badass, dude. He's a student of film, which is one of the reasons I love him so much. And we'll get into that, but let's let Joe talk about his cinematic experience.
It was the second movie of the week that I'd watched. No, I'm lying, because the first one Ben suggested isn't available unless you buy it.
Right. I own the DVD, but apparently Harvey Weinstein is not allowing probably Kevin Smith's best movie to be viewed. And I could have shifted up.
Do you think
to
Dogma is his
Mallrats?
best movie? Are you serious?
Yeah. What do you think's better than Dogma?
Dude,
he's gonna say
fucking Clerks. Clerks 2.
Well,
for me,
Clerks.
for
Really?
me,
fuck,
for
dude.
me, it's
Yeah,
I'm with Joe.
I
Clerks
couldn't.
2.
Clerks 2?
Dude, Dogma. I would
Clerks
actually,
2.
I would argue that it was Clerks. Personally.
I mean, I'd be hard pressed to argue with you on that because I think Clerks is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, no,
I think-
I felt like Dogma. So the mini movie review that we didn't do, I think Dogma was a ridiculous friggin' culmination of everybody jumping on his fucking coattails and having the all-star ensemble fucking Kevin Smith movie. Fuck that movie.
Well,
Man, I read that movie when I still worked at Mary's Pizza Shack. I read the script for that before it was. That was one of my early access movies that I thought this would be badass. I always thought, you remember the video game Killer Instinct?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Glacius in that, the ice guy who looks all cool. I thought that's how the shit demon should have looked. And then they made him hella dumb. The horns. I was like, oh man.
That's fucking
Come on,
great.
Kevin. That was one of my biggest letdowns when I got to see something on screen I had previously read.
Those
That's
are all
fantastic.
so specific. Ben has actually put like it's Glacius from Killer Instinct. That's who it should.
But yeah, when I read the script, I was like, this is who this guy should look like. A shit demon. Yeah,
That's
anyway.
fucking hilarious.
Hey, wait, just for the 30 viewers that we have and the 2 who maybe made it this far into watching, we are talking about the fact that we wanted to do Dogma, but Harvey Weinstein owns the rights to it. And apparently he hates Kevin Smith so much that he makes sure that it will not be on any streaming service ever anywhere.
Well,
So
fuck
we
Harvey
couldn't do it.
Weinstein. Fuck Harvey Weinstein. And quite frankly, fuck Dogma the movie. Anyways, back to the movie we're actually doing.
I got so much to say about Dogma. I own it. Eventually we'll do it. I'll buy copies for you guys.
There'll be a link up here somewhere eventually, maybe.
But
I don't know.
instead, when I found out I couldn't do Dogma, I said I could either shift it to another Kevin Smith movie, or what's a movie I've been wanting to watch and I haven't been able to get an excuse to watch it. And this was number 1 on the list. So, boom.
Oh, you
back
you
to
hadn't
Joe's
seen
rating
this
and
before?
grading.
Right. We're coming back to it.
No, I haven't.
Oh, you hadn't even seen this one prior to that? Well, this was my
I
first
wanted to
watch
watch
through.
it for probably, since it came out, I wanted to watch it.
This was my
I've
first
been just
watch
holding
through.
on.
And as soon as it started out with her dancing in, like, I'm pretty sure it was like a newspaper dress almost or some shit, I was like, fuck, dude, here's another fucking Rushmore. The fuck does Ben have me watching? This is going to be some dumb fucking touchy-feely fucking artsy bullshit, and couldn't be farther from the truth. Couldn't be farther from the truth. I had an experience very similar to Russell's. Was disappointed with the opening. In retrospect, the opening did a great job of setting that character against her protagonist, what turned out to be her protagonist. The way they developed that relationship, between the two was fantastic. I got a couple of little nitpickets. I'll save it. I'm gonna give it a solid B. You know, it was
Oh,
B plus. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
What a hater.
Not as good as Krampus, is what you're saying.
Did I give Krampus better than B plus? I don't think so.
I don't remember
I
who
don't
writes
think
these
so at
things
all,
down.
right? Russell does.
No, our average rating for Krampus was, I think, a B.
Yeah,
There's no way. I
regardless,
hated Krampus.
No, it was a B minus. It was a B minus because I gave it. Yeah.
Anyway,
fuck it. It was a B
Nobody
minus.
cares. I'm going to reserve the right to come back and revisit my letter grade at some point after I hear our discussions, because there's a lot to this movie.
Right, there is a lot to this movie. I really wanted to see it. I love Edgar Wright. I know he is. I follow him on Instagram. He actually not long ago posted his how many. Here are the movies I watched in 2022. Tries to watch a movie a day. A lot of it 60s noir film in order to prepare for this movie. And like Russ had said with the horror movie, I'd definitely call it like a thriller, more like, until they get into all the kind of supernatural weird shit, which I don't know. I also have some nitpicks. I really liked the first half of the movie, but things take a definite turn when she gets tricked out by Doctor Who. So I give it I'm right there with Joe. I give it a solid B. It's got a couple of things where I'm like, is this really? I feel like it kind of fell apart for all of the great groundwork it laid. But the first hour 20, phenomenal, like really great, totally noir. When she's going on the train and it shows the picture of the train going by and then the picture of the countryside, it's like, how many movies have you seen that in? That's an homage to so many different movies, and there's so many different shots in this movie that are like literal references to other movies that Edgar Wright's been influenced by. So a lot that I really loved, and I'd go a solid B.
And you could see it. I mean, he brought, solid 60s London set pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know enough
His
about
grasp
it, but
of the 60s is tight.
60s London. Yeah, I mean, he got that shit down.
All right. So wait, I got a question for you before we get too much further. So this was last night in Soho, and then there's One Night in Paris. What would you guys rate that? Did you think that was a good movie, or
dude? I gotta Google it. I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't know what One Night in Paris is?
I'd have to fucking look it up, man.
It's a 2004 pornographic film.
Oh, well, there you go.
This is fucking Paris Hilton's porno. Anyway.
All right.
All right.
There we go.
I thought you guys would be right on top with that, but all right.
I remember that now because Paris. But
right.
Paris dirt.
I would give that, like, she's on a scale of 1 to 10.
We don't need an actual rating. It's okay. That was just a joke.
It's low. She's not the greatest, I would say. But
anyways,
I did want to say, just to kind of, because we talked about horror, and I think Ben's right. If you view horror as what it is today, and the movies that come out today and how they stylize horror, this movie is not a horror movie anymore. It's kind of like when we talked about The Abyss a while ago, and I was like, that's not a horror movie. It's just a suspense movie.
I think the only thing that would have possibly pushed it into a horror film classification for me was the ghost aspect of it. Spoilers.
Right.
Well,
right.
There's
I thought
there is some blood and like throat slitting in this and some gory scenes.
But they could have had that and still kept it solid in the suspense thriller category. But when they included the ghosts, I can see your discussion about horror. Like at that point, you're pushing it into the paranormal. It's a little.
Yeah, I think for me, the point I was trying to make is just that the direction he went with the movie. It's a very Quentin Tarantino like. It's very moment in time. The whole movie, like it's based in the 60s, and it's got a certain feel to it that you get from like the grindhouse kind of go. But
Yeah, but when
the
she's having all these visions and she's seeing the dudes and she's freaking out, nobody else sees them, but they can physically restrain her. But there's not that shot of her fighting against nothing. You know what I mean? Like what an outsider would see if she's being grappled and she's fighting with nothing. It didn't to me do enough to really draw that line whether you're asking is she flipping out or is she actually like a medium?
No, dude, like
Which
the hickey on the neck,
right?
right out of the gate after night one. She's got the hickey on the neck. Physical representation in this world of a dream interaction. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And they never go back to it.
Right. Yeah. It kind of, I mean, she lives in the dream a lot, but it definitely reaches a point where it's like, wait, this isn't what it was half an hour ago. Now it's something new. And I don't think you've established that change well enough. That's one of my only little nitpicks I had about it.
Well, I don't know. For me, I mean, I think I appreciated the fact that the horror style of this movie was horror from 20 years ago. And
shit,
a lot
like
of
40 years ago, brother. You're getting old.
That's 1980.
I think
So
it's
it's
about
60
20
years
ago.
ago.
No, just that style. Like before we started seeing stuff that was so reliant on scaring the shit out of you and so reliant on ultra gore to be called a horror movie. Like this movie, I appreciate the fact that it was like going back to the roots of original horror and just being kind of psychological thrilling and having some blood. And it reminded me of The Shining a little bit. But
generally I agree with all of those things, but I'm in solid with the camp with Ben at hour 20. You know.
Here's what I have to say against what Ben says is
Of course.
of course I do this every day of my life.
You should see our chat.
And it's against Joe too. So the first
Yeah.
Why you gotta throw me
Joe.
into the bullshit?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he's just talking about
There's
you
like-
now. I'm good though. I'm good, right?
there's two parts to this because I agree with the way you both felt. And Joe said it, but Ben didn't. Joe said it about the beginning. When you're watching the beginning of this movie, like the first 20 minutes for me, didn't love it. And I was like, oh God, but I trusted Ben. And then like it pulls through for me. And it starts to pick up at that 30-minute mark. And that was great. And I appreciated the first 20 minutes because of that. But then there is that part, and I felt the same way Ben did, where it started to run away with itself in the whole, like the vision she's seeing a little too much. And it maybe detracted from the movie. But by the end of the movie, I did not see that ending coming, and I really liked the ending. And all of that shit built up to that ending for me. And so I liked it looking back on it. Like if I watched it a second time, I think I'd like it all.
Yeah. That's surprising to me. That honestly, I really love that because I know I had read about him trying to get that ramping up feel, and he referenced, oh God, what he referenced? He referenced The Perfect Movie, where you're like, I figured it out, and I'm really excited to see what comes next. Like, way early on, I turned to Kelly and was like, why hasn't she asked the landlady about Sandy? Like, I don't get it. Ask your landlady about this woman you're dreaming. I don't know.
And
I felt like I
though.
did see it coming.
You gotta at least give her that.
She did eventually, and she pushed it off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did do it.
And then poor Terrence Stamp when she's like, Alex killed Sandy, and she doesn't figure it out, and then he gets hit by a fucking car. That was pretty.
Did you guys actually like call the ending though? Because I didn't. I knew it was going to be weird and everything, but I did not think the old lady killed all those guys.
That's okay. So I did not see that she killed all the dudes. That is definitely true. But I also felt when watching the movie, when they do the help me moment, I was like, oh come on. Really? Like
Wait, the
you
help
don't
me
care
moment.
at all about these men. You don't want them to be helped. Like if she didn't help them, who
But sh-
cares? They're
but
horrible
she
people.
and she didn't. Like by the end of it, she was in this middle ground where she like kind
Mhm.
of thought the old lady was evil, but she understood and respected her.
Oh,
But
dude, when
she
she
felt bad
says,
for the
I'm
guys
not
too.
going to prison, I've been in prison my whole life. I was like, ooh, that's a good line.
All
That's
right, so
well delivered.
I'm gonna throw the unpopular opinion out there.
So
All right, so I was kind of in the same ballpark with you guys about when the ghosts were like, "Oh, we're only haunting you to get our redemption," right? Like they're trying to redeem themselves. They need somebody to show. And I actually thought I was like, all right, well, so this is a thing in the 60s and it existed and you chose to provide you chose to fill that space in the market, right? As horrific
No,
as it
she
is.
didn't.
I mean, at a certain point she did. She admitted that in her little monologue. She's like, I wanted to be a singer and
wait, I mean,
own
Right, but
no,
a
she didn't
percentage
want
of
to
it. I
get
mean, she
fucking
was she was
turned out.
taking advantage of, I'll admit, but
Time lords, dude. You can't
Joe,
trust them.
that's
when she
Joe, you
flipped, the point I'm going to is when she flipped. Let's say she was taken advantage of, she chose it, whatever put her there. She flipped the script at a certain point, and then you got to see it a little bit from the other guy's perspective. What if that guy never ever did anything wrong in his entire life, except picked the wrong chick to make a bad decision with, and now he's just
Wait,
dead?
he held a knife to her in her bed.
No, I'm talking about the Johns. I'm talking about the Johns that she friggin', slaughtered.
I
Oh.
mean, all right. So
No, I
here,
mean,
okay, the
No, I mean the
Johns.
guy her
I don't
pimp.
even
Fuck
want
that guy.
to. I don't.
The
Yeah, no. The
the
Time
pimp. Fuck
Lord
that guy.
Doctor Who is a piece of shit. He's a
Yeah,
pimp.
no, that's the
He's
worst.
an established pimp, and people call him a manager. But the Johns are being talked into. They're like well-to-do bankers or whatever in the '60s, going to these clubs, and the nightclub owner's like, "Hey, check out this chick. She can sing, she can dance, and also, you want to give me $500, you'll
Their
go home with her tonight."
managers, their
Right.
managers pushed that.
Right.
They were as much a
I
victim of
mean,
the process as she was. Not that there's ever an
no, they
excuse.
were
mean,
not. Look
I
at
do not
Joe.
agree or condone
I,
that
I,
statement at
I said it
all.
was a hot take.
Joe's
Oh
over
my
here
God.
defending the rapists.
No, they're not.
Wow.
In their mind, they weren't rapists. They were purchasing a commodity.
You know,
But in
Ben,
reality,
whenever I
100%
pick
rape.
whenever I pick a World War II movie, Ben always likes to pick on me and say I'm a Nazi sympathizer. And that's really fucked up.
When does that ever happen?
So
But
wait, what's the
anyways,
corollary you're gonna make about me?
what's the thing that goes
don't
around
wanna
right
know.
now? Like, are you a rapist defender or something? By all the woke people say it. Rape lover.
Wow.
Wow.
All
Wow.
I was saying is that they were victims too.
They were victims too.
I mean, in the end, yeah, victims of murder, but
How
yeah.
far has this
no,
show
I mean
come?
her story is absolutely horrific. And it's
Yeah,
sad
really.
that happens. It still happens today. I mean, human trafficking
does.
is the largest
Huge.
crime in the world today. I
It's
mean,
huge.
who
Everybody agrees it's a terrible problem.
who was that guy that didn't hang himself? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't
Oh,
agree with
Harvey, not Harvey. That guy's in jail.
something
Epstein.
Epstein. Yeah,
Epstein.
They have the same
Yeah.
last name, Weinstein, Epstein. They're-
Yeah, the
everyone's a
largest
rapist.
The
fucking
Steens. Wait, what? What are you saying, Kanye? You want to expand on that, Russ? You Nazi sympathizing son of a bitch? You got a problem with last name of Steen? Damn. Damn. All right,
Ouch.
let's get the show back on track. Edgar Wright. So you got this really a ton of amazing shots established where I didn't write her name down. Thomason McKenzie. What was she? Eloise. Eloise is watching Sandy in this dream. Almost every single special effect in this movie is a practical effect. They choreographed to mimic each other. They used just glass in order to show them across from each other. Like there's almost no CGI in this movie.
I think
just
No, it was
I
all
read-
practical
Kudos.
effects.
I
Nice.
read there's only 2 practical effects in all of the
other way around. Special effects
Yeah,
in the big
sorry,
dance
2
scene.
2 special effects in the big dance scene.
Yep. And Anya Taylor-Joy is actually singing downtown in that song, in that scene, which I thought was pretty amazing. I
wow,
still
that
don't
was her
believe it, honestly.
actually singing.
That's
She-
actually her singing.
Oh wow,
She also
that's
sings
impressive.
she doesn't. But if you look her up on Spotify, because I did, and I liked that song so much, I added it to one of my playlists. The downtune version of Uptown. The
Downtown.
I like
yeah,
to-
downtune downtune version of Downtown. There's an uptune
Downtown.
version as well,
Yeah.
which
Right, of
threw me the
Uptown.
fuck off.
Uptown Funk, gonna give it to you.
Uptown, whatever.
Saturday night,
Anyhow.
I'm feeling just right. Don't believe me, just watch. Oh,
The
No?
Cilla
Ah.
Black the Cilla Black song.
That just happened.
Yep.
You Are My World.
uh-huh.
That came on in the beginning too. That she's like credited for it on Spotify for whatever reason, Anya Taylor. But some other girl, if you look at her Instagram, she's the one who plays Cilla Black in that scene. And that's like she is trying to ride this wave so hard. Everything about her Instagram is parentheses played Cilla Black in the movie Last Night at Soho. She's on there for like 2 seconds, you know? You hear her voice and then you see her for 2 seconds and she leaves.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Cilla
Wanted
Black
so
was huge
bad.
in the '60s.
She wanted so bad
Yes.
for this
She
movie
actually,
to
yeah,
be
that's
a
an
hit.
actual representation of a real person.
Yeah,
She
Cilla
wanted-
Black was huge. I mean, I don't blame her. Do your thing, girl. Work your market. Find that niche.
She really, really tried. And I think she really wanted this movie to be a big hit. But the fact is that this movie cost 40 million and it only made 20 million.
Yeah, but it's gonna
Yep.
blow up in the aftermarket. This is gonna be a
I
cult
mean,
hit. This is gonna be a cult hit.
Yeah,
Dude,
I feel like this is one of the biggest, like, hey, we're coming out of COVID, come back and watch movies. And people were like, nope.
No, we
Nope.
need masks. We need
That's right.
vaccines.
Yeah. Nobody wants to sit in this movie theater with a mask on and watch a movie. It was just Tenet, same thing. Tenet dealt with the same shit.
yeah.
Amazing movie. Should have been a fucking blockbuster. Came out at the end or right in the middle of COVID. Dead in the water.
And then you got Tom Cruise, who was smart and took Maverick, which was a shit movie, and freaking waited till after COVID and made tons
What?
of money.
Come
Did-
on. Do you not have a beating heart?
I don't like that.
I'm proud to
Fuck
be
that.
an American.
Dude, Top
Did you
Gun,
guys-
Fucker.
great
did you
movie.
guys know-
Maverick, piece of shit.
Did you
Whatever.
guys know Thomasin McKenzie was supposed to be in Maverick and she dropped out?
I did. Dropped out in order to be in this
to
movie.
be in this movie. What
Oh,
a
interesting.
terrible
Yep.
decision. But
What?
good for her.
What?
Go with your gut.
Yeah, no, this movie is so
Whatever.
much
I
better
thought it
than
was great.
Maverick.
No
This
way,
movie
dude.
is so
This was a
much better
great
than
role
Maverick.
for her. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, she was
I-
phenomenal in this.
I agree with you guys, but if she had a remotely big role in Maverick, she probably would have made a better name for herself in it.
I doubt it. No, dude, this movie's gonna
What
be
role would she have been? No, there's no.
no. This movie
don't
is
know.
gonna garner a
Looking
cult
like a child.
following because it does an artistic and yet unflinching portrayal of the sex trafficking in the 60s. I mean, it absolutely doesn't really pull any punches and you feel that. I mean, that that poor woman got absolutely exploited and taken advantage of for
Yeah.
somebody
feel
else's
like-
profit.
I feel like a hard, real edge would have made this movie even more compelling if it wasn't the supernatural stuff and it was just a straight Hitchcockian murder mystery
Damn, dude, you-
without
Freaking burying the lead. That was my point. I was trying to lead up to right now. Like
No, it's
a little bit more edge of the realism, like a little bit
Yeah.
more.
No,
You know,
I loved it. It
the
was
Ripper,
This movie was great.
a little more Jack the Ripper
Yeah,
would have been better than the ghost horror take. In my
I
opinion.
agree. I
I
agree. Some actual real time old people who are trying to kill her and shit. Like that.
See,
That's the. I feel
but-
like that direction would have been much more solid.
I think another one of the reasons that I kind of disagree with that statement in general is because I've like seen that a lot of times. And one thing that this movie did that I haven't seen a lot of times is watching somebody literally. I thought she was going to end up in a mental institution. I thought that's how this movie was going to end.
More like The Beautiful
Yeah.
Mind.
Yeah, and I was watching somebody lose their mind because she couldn't stop seeing basically things that weren't there, that weren't really even touching her, and everyone around her was like, "What's going on?" and blah blah blah. And I thought that was
Speaking of which,
like, but they did it in a really like when they did it in the library, they did it in a way where I was like, dude, if I was losing my mind, I think I would. That wouldn't be too far off from like shit that people who are actually losing their mind are seeing.
Right.
And
Which
so
quite possibly.
it comes back to Ben's theory about her being a medium.
I liked it.
Right. Grandma even says early that, she sees things, she feels things.
Right.
Which obviously she sees her mom, which you can think, oh, that's just her remembering her mom. Or no, she actually sees her mom. Just before I get to my main point, hey, no, I forgot my side point. Dude, John in the movie. John that plays the guy who's super interested in her. Bro, if she was gonna like call the cops and all that shit when he got caught in her room, like he's not gonna be nice to her again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He is not
Dude,
I'm obviously a middle-aged white man, but I cannot see a black man being accused of these things and thinking, "Oh no, I'll go back to school tomorrow." Like you would be so afraid you're going to get picked up by the fucking
Well,
cops.
Maybe
dude, in
I
60s London
such a
art
weird-
school, I was surprised that he was heterosexual.
Well, but he's yeah.
I
don't
mean,
know.
honestly, I
there's a
picked
lot of-
him up.
the-
Like I pegged his character early
Oh.
in the plot as homosexual. So
The
they
wealthiest,
caught me
the
with that one.
wealthiest
He liked the
man,
Eloise.
the wealthiest man in the world right now sells clothing and jewelry. Seems like a good idea to me.
Oh, I don't disagree. I'm just saying I was surprised
That
that
Mark
he ended
Cuban?
up being heterosexual.
No,
Is that
it's
the Cubes?
what's his name? Bernard Arnault. I think
I
that's
like
his
that
name.
you started with
I don't know.
burnt.
Benedict Arnold? No, that's an old guy. He portrayed us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it
So
right.
anyway,
I just tried to Google it. He's worth like $190 billion, and he.
good for him.
I know, right?
Good
What an
for him.
idiot! Why are we even talking about him?
All right.
Had-
He's
lost it again.
he's another man exploiting women for financial gain. What? Who said
Probably.
I mean, guess what? Look around, throw a stone. You're gonna hit one.
Cosmetics.
So Thomas
What?
and Mackenzie, also in Jojo Rabbit, pretty good. I like that movie a lot. Anya Taylor Joy. Did either of you guys watch The Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
No. Hey Ben, if you had to put this movie against Jojo Rabbit, which one would you pick?
The Queen's Gambit.
No, that's not the question.
I would actually.
I mean,
TV
Jojo
series.
Rabbit had a lot of stuff I really enjoyed. Number one, Scarlett Johansson. Number two, funny stuff.
Dude, what's
his
his name?
little
The
friend
guy
in
who-
that, his fat friend with the glasses in that was so fucking worth watching that entire movie for.
Who's the guy who he's like not the villain, but the douchebag nemesis in Iron Man 2, who's also in Jojo Rabbit?
Mickey Rourke? Oh no, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Dude, he's so funny in Jojo Rabbit. I
Yeah.
love watching it. It just for him.
Have
Yeah.
not seen Jojo Rabbit. Can't speak
Well
intelligently
worth it.
about it.
Well worth it.
Maybe I'll watch
I'm
it.
gonna guess neither of you guys have seen the New Mutants.
No, I've seen that one.
Did you? What were
Yeah.
your thoughts about her as Magic?
I mean, I can't recall because I watched it when it first came out. So it's been a minute. And we watch a lot of stuff because we do the show every week. But
I mean,
I wasn't a big fan of the series. I wasn't, didn't like the direction. That
I
they
felt
took
like
it.
yeah,
It
she
had
was
a
all
lot of
right, but I don't know.
potential,
I
and then
really
they
love the
dropped the
character
ball.
of Magic. Say what?
They started it okay, but then they dropped the ball. But I really would like to speak about her role in Queen's Gambit because I love that fucking series.
Yeah, I did not finish it, but it started out really good.
Oh, dude, I'm an avid chess player. I'm not good at it, but I really enjoy the game. And watching her reminds me a lot of Finding something Fisher. I can't remember his
Bobby.
middle name. Finding Bobby Fisher.
Bobby Fisher. Where is he? I don't know.
that shows.
I don't know.
That show
Bobby
sucks.
Fisher.
That show sucks. Let me ask you a question, Joe. What does it have to do with the Queen or Gambit?
No, the Queen's Gambit is a chess movie. It's a
Nope.
movie about chess. The
There's
Queen's
no
Gambit-
throwing cards charged with kinetic energy
I'm not
and
saying that Bob.
no royalty.
You know, what? Fuck
I've
you guys.
never-
It's a great role for her. You should watch it. I would absolutely
never watched
recommend
Remy
it.
Delacroix.
to anybody. It's great. It finishes incredibly strong.
If you
Huh.
like bullshit.
If
I would actually draw a lot of corollaries between that movie and this movie. And
I don't know
her
that corollaries is a real word.
character portrayal in both.
I want to change my rating.
Fuck that. Also, she was in Northman, which definitely not everybody's cup of tea, but I saw that in the theater. Matt Smith, Doctor Who, Nick or whatever his name is, the pandering, pimping piece of shit. I don't know. I never care to see this guy on the screen, whether it was Doctor Who or this or that's all I've ever seen him in. Like, I don't find this actor intriguing or engaging. I find him to be just like
You
so
said-
smug.
You said Matt Smith, the guy who plays Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I really like him. Did you see him in House of the Dragon?
No.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
watch
he's-
it.
Yeah. No, he's that's.
He's
I was
Fuck
trying
House
to
of the
think. I was like,
Dragon.
who have I seen this guy in? He actually does a compelling job on House of the Dragon.
He's
Still
probably-
a piece of the shit.
Yeah,
Still
I
like
think-
not a
Man.
good person.
I think
Still-
If it doesn't
still
have Diane
arguably-
Rigg,
Still
if
arguably
it doesn't have
pimping,
Diane Rigg as the head Tyrell, I don't care.
definitely taking
And,
advantage of women.
It doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Because
He plays the
unfortunately,
same
she passed
character.
after this movie.
Now that
Huh?
now that Joe says it, he basically plays the same character. Just
Exactly.
taking advantage of women.
In the entire.
But he's a great character for the show. He's I think the most consistent, probably best character on the show. And his face, I don't know, his face is very special. There's some people who are actors who are only actors because their face is good for the role that they're in. He's one of those.
You know what he
actors.
reminds me of? You remember those Energizer ads with the fake plastic people? He reminds me of one of them.
Wow. Well, you just dated yourself so hard right now.
Yeah. Also, Primus, Winona's Big Brown Beaver took off on that, but they were Energizer commercials first.
Oh my god.
I like him. Do you guys want to hear what I'm changing my rating to? Do you guys want to change your rating?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
No.
Russ. Give it to me. You started as an A. Where are you at now?
I'm starting as an A, and I've been the one fighting against you guys in your B rating the whole time. And nothing that you said has anything to do with this.
All
But
right.
I'm gonna come down.
All right.
And the reason
Why?
is
All the ladies like to hear it.
when I asked the question, which movie do you like more, Jojo Rabbit or this movie? Jojo Rabbit is the superior movie to this movie, and I would give
right.
Jojo Rabbit an A. So
What if Last Night in Soho had Scarlett Johansson in it?
stop. That is not the reason.
Come on now, that's a fair argument.
That's not the reason. Also, her character.
ScarJo's easily worth a letter grade.
No, her character in Jojo Rabbit. There's everything Ben is saying doesn't apply. She's just.
She's still pretty good. She's really kind of tragic as mom, honestly. Like, I love it when she grabs the glass of wine and she's like, "I'm having grapes for dinner."
Yeah,
that bitch stole my line.
She just wears sweaters the entire time and lives a really sad life where she tries hard and gets killed at the end.
Man, that's an incredible movie.
Spoilers,
I'm
dude.
not gonna watch that now.
You totally should. The kid has an imaginary Hitler as a companion.
You're not watching it. You're oh my god. All right, can we just stop recording? I hate you guys.
No. We've got a bunch of other stuff to talk about.
Anyways, I'm coming down to an A-. A-.
All right, A-. After hearing you guys talk about it, I reserved the right. I made the comment early on. I wanted to reserve the right to review my grade, and I'm gonna come back to it, and I'm gonna say, "Nah, this movie's still a B." Like it just, it's hour and 20 somewhere in there. It tries to cross a river and it doesn't work. Like there's disconnect somewhere in the middle.
However, if you're recommending noir films, which have that special category, this one should definitely be in there. It's worth a watch. All the homage he does to all of everything that came previous. And like Russ said, the soundtrack in this is phenomenal.
I have not gotten.
I would recommend you watch it. You know, it's a B. Like it's worth your time. Rent it for $4. Yeah, and if you're big into the noir whodunit kind of Clue-esque.
I feel like it's so much more than that. Like this movie was different. It was something I hadn't seen in a long time. It sparked a sense of like intrigue in me that I hadn't had in a long time. I'm definitely going to watch it again. My wife said she liked it, and it's a horror movie, and she hates those movies. And she generally
wait till she watches it from the beginning. She's going to love it.
Like overall, this movie had so many nice little things about it. I think it's probably my favorite Edgar Wright movie.
Oh, come on.
Baby Driver is great. I mean, and so many others that he's got. I mean, well, fuck the Hot Fuzz. Fuck that.
I think for me, my second favorite
Fuzz is a masterpiece.
The fuck did you just say?
I said Hot Fuzz is a masterpiece.
Hot Fuzz is all right, and Shaun of the Dead's is good too.
Every time I hear about Hot Fuzz, you know what it makes me think about is there was this movie, and I can't ever remember the fucking name of this movie, but there was this movie where this guy who's a cop, and something happens, and every time he sees red, he develops these superpowers. It's an actual movie. I'm gonna look it up now. I haven't looked it up in years or thought about it in years, except every time I hear Hot Fuzz, it's like Super Fuzz or some shit like that. Super crazy, off the wall,
something like that.
Fucking nonsense movie. It's absolutely a Ben movie. I'm gonna find it. We're gonna watch it.
All right, find it, and then we'll discuss it next time. In the meantime, subscribe. My phone's down to 15% power, so hit that like button.
That means we got at least 45 seconds.
At least.
Yeah.
A 1 and